Today's video is going to be 6 words you can add to your everyday vocabulary in order to make your English more professional in the workplace. It can also help you go from an intermediate level to an advanced level. So if that is what you are trying to achieve, make sure to subscribe. My name is Catherine and I teach English for the workplace, business English and interview practice. So definitely subscribe if that's something you are working on. One of the differences between advanced English and intermediate level English is the ability to use vocabulary in the correct way, the correct situation, with the correct meaning. It is fantastic having knowledge of vocabulary, but if you are using it incorrectly, or it's not natural when you are using it, this will stop you reaching that advanced level, sounding more fluent, sounding more natural when you are speaking English. So when you're learning new vocabulary, make sure to learn the meaning and some examples of how to use it. So on that note, our first word today is tumultuous. 4 syllables. Tumultuous, tumultuous, tumultuous. Now this can have many meanings. The meanings are all slightly similar. However, the Cambridge Dictionary meaning is very loud or full of change or full of confusion, uncertain. Now, obviously, these all mean different things. So think of it as another way of saying uncertain or not sure, not 100%. The path is uncertain. They had a tumultuous relationship. The relationship changed often, it was uncertain, often led to confusion. The path ahead is tumultuous. The path before is unknown, possibly difficult, uncertain. Note that we use it in a negative way. So when discussing anything that is uncertain or could potentially change last minute or often, you can use the word tumultuous. If you want to describe something that's going to change in a positive way or is uncertain in a positive way, you'd say something more along the lines of unexplored or unknown or open to opportunity, flexible, open to change. Tumultuous is typically used in a negative way. Refine. This one's an easy one. Refine. Now, refine can have 2 meanings. The first relates to the manufacturing of a product or industrial process. So removing unwanted substances or qualities from something to refine it. When using refine in the office or work environment, we mean something similar, but of course it's not an industrial process. To refine an idea or refine the brief is to make minor changes in order to improve or clarify something. So the plan, brief, or project is practically finished, but there are some small changes that need to be made in order for it to be considered perfect or to be signed off by the team lead. So how can you use this at work? Well, if you are showing your team lead your idea, your concept, your plan, you could say, it needs some refining, but it's almost complete. Meaning I need to make some small changes, but we're basically there. Or if you are the team lead and someone brings you something that isn't quite finished, instead of saying it's not finished, it needs some refining. You need to refine it. Or once you have refined these elements, it will be ready to go. Or maybe a client contacts you and says, is the project complete? You can say, we're just refining it, meaning nearly there are some small changes being made. Anecdote. Now, something that is an anecdote is something that is overheard or personal experience, but not necessarily based on truth or fact. It doesn't mean it's a lie or it's not true. It just means there is no evidence or truth at this moment. It's based on a personal account or situation. So if I tell you a story now, that would be an anecdote because it's not related to the video, but it's also not necessarily untrue. It's just an anecdote, almost like a side note. We can use it as an adjective. We are describing something based on personal experience. In the workplace, you may say something like, we received feedback from the clients. Of course, this is anecdotal. We still need to find out the exact situation. Meaning, this is what they've told us, but we don't yet know the information. Let's say, for example, you receive a complaint from a client or customer, and your protocol is to go through all of the emails, all of the corresponding messages, and find out what actually happened, but you haven't done that yet. You need to look into it, but you also need to go to your manager for help first. So this is the customer's anecdote of the situation. This is their storytelling of the situation. We do not know yet what's happened. I have not had a chance to look into what's happened. It's just the story that they are telling me. Maybe you are giving a presentation at work and you want to add a personal story or experience to the presentation to further make your point. So you could say, the following anecdote should demonstrate my point, or the following anecdote will illustrate my idea. You are adding a personal situation or story or experience into the setting. Of course, it's not fact, it's a personal story, but it adds and aids to your telling of the presentation. Our next word today is outcome. You may be able to guess the meaning of this already, as it is the makeup of two words. So maybe challenge yourself here. Pause the video, try and guess the definition, and let me know in the comments if you were right or wrong with your guess of the definition once I give it to you. The outcome of something is the same as the consequences or result of something. It is the consequence of actions previously made. So although it has the same meaning as consequence or result, and we use it in the same way, it is a nice word to know because it changes up your vocabulary. It gives you something else to use instead of result or consequence. It sounds professional, it sounds educated, and it just makes a nice change from using result all the time. Have you spent hours researching something for a colleague? What was the outcome? Did you find out what you needed to? Did you contact a client about an invoice and now you need to let your team lead know the outcome? Are you driven by a positive outcome? Are you afraid of a negative outcome? Use in the exact same way as result, but switch it up. Robust. Robust is a fantastic word because it sounds a lot like the definition. You may have heard of onomatopoeia, which relates to words that are inspired by the sounds they create. So, for example, bang, cuckoo, swish. The word sounds like the sound it is describing. Robust is not onomatopoeia, but in my opinion, it reminds me a lot of this. So, robust means to be strong, capable, uncompromisable, sturdy. It sounds like that, doesn't it? Robust. It just sounds strong. So if you were to describe a building as robust, the building is strong. It's built well. It can withstand the weather conditions. If you describe a relationship with someone as robust, it means it is strong, unbreakable, a good, healthy relationship. If you were told in a meeting that you need to build a robust plan, it would mean to build a strong, foolproof plan. Something that cannot be questioned or picked apart. The plan is strong. I think you get the picture. So think of robust as stronger than strong. You can use it in exactly the same way you use the word strong, but add it in occasionally to advance your English. And our final word today, mitigate. Mitigate. This one could be considered a bonus word, as to be honest, you probably won't use it that often, but it is a good one to know. Mitigate means to lessen the effects, decrease the consequences, make it less bad, make it less negative. So some examples for you. If more people were to take the train to work, this would mitigate the effects of climate change. Indonesia is limiting the amount of visitors in their tourist hotspots in order to mitigate the effects of over-tourism. So it's like to reduce the consequence of something. Also note that a mitigator is someone who joins a meeting or discussion in order to act as the middle person to lessen the chance of an argument or emotions getting in the way of the discussion, to keep everything even. They're not on this side or this side, they are right in the middle, keeping things calm and professional. So now you know all these fantastic new words. Why don't you try using them and create some example sentences in the comments below? I will let you know if your sentences are correct or maybe need some feedback on some of them. Thank you for watching and supporting me and liking my videos. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me get my videos out there. Hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.